Hello, my name is Mr. Melon. I'm going to teach you how to use the Maker Pen. Alright, it's pretty simple. It just looks hard because there's a lot of tools and rules to it. So, let's get started. To use the Maker Pen, you must open your watch. Now, this is an important step. You either must create a room or it must be in your dorm room to use the Maker Pen. To use the Maker Pen, you click the backpack button, which would be right on the menu right here. And the Maker Pen will be here. You can favorite the tool, so you can pull it out of your back, like this, or you can just press the use button right here. Now, the Maker Pen is a relatively easy tool to use. It just looks confusing because of all of the buttons on the Maker Pen. All of the the buttons on the Maker Pen and the palette, which you can open up with the open palette tool. Now, let's get started by talking with how to use it, obviously. So to use it, you must, okay, hold on. Frick. To open up your Maker Pen, you must look at the front plate of your Maker Pen. You can leave it floating by pressing your right B or Y button. There's going to be a whole flood of buttons. Each have a different purpose and a different meaning. The edit button is to edit an item you've already created. The edit button is really simple. I mean, once you create something like a circle or that smiley face back there, when you drop your Maker Pen, it will say done editing. Now, that means when you click the edit button, you can re-edit an item and do something with it. So boom, that's gone. Or take the smiley face over here, not edited, I can only remove, you can select a part you want to delete. So let's say I want to delete the left eye, and the left eye is gone, or the right eye if you're, The create button does exactly what you think it would. It will open up the palette menu, which will look a little bit like this. The palette button has a whole bunch of tools and objects you can use to create with. Let's say I want to create a cube or a box, then you could just take it and make a box like this. It will open up the palette, or you can click open palette at the top. It will open up to a flood of shapes and colors or materials of the object you're choosing. Let's say I want to build, a square. I can just take the square and you can spread it around really big or really small. And once you're done creating your object, you can drop your Maker Pen and it will say done editing. For spawning in tools and gadgets or circuits to make games with. An example would be this paint program, like this. The next tool to your disposal is Select Tool. Select Tool, does exactly what you think it would. With select objects, you can move around, or you can do whatever with. You can delete them, you can clone them, you can do whatever. Move Tool. The Move Tool will move in a pivot point, and the Rotate Tool does the same thing around the pivot, except it just rotates the object. You can move it around however you want, and once you're done, you just drop it, or you can just stop messing with it. And you can also grab the objects, but for MeowNet right now, it's kind of buggy. Scaling does exactly what you think. It can scale an object, or it can shrink an object, and once you're done, you can just drop your Maker Pen, and you have that done. The next tool is the Wire Tool. We'll get to that later. The Configure Tool is a tool to configure your object. You can change the physics of your object from decorational to environmental to sticky and physical. The basic settings is if you can make it grabbable, you can make it climbable, you can have wall runs on it, or you can teleport and clamber to it. Making it climbable will not make it grabbable, but it will make it where you can grab an object and you can, climb with it. Having a climbable object will not make it move in any way, but you will be able to climb it, and you will be able to move like this and whatever, and that's really it. So much, but they do work different for other items, and I'll get to that later. The next tool at your disposal is the clone tool, and this is exactly what it says it does. It will clone another object, and it will do the exact same function if they have two different functions. So this one's also climbable, and this one is still climbable. But if you configure it, make it not climbable, then I cannot climb this one, but I can climb this one. The next tool to your disposal is the recolor tool, because it will open up the palette again, and you can change the color of an object. So let's say I want this violet purple, I can change it. You can also change the material, which, I mean, just changes the material, but basically it will just change the texture, and this is how you get grass or any kind of look you want it to. So let's say I wanted this grass kind of color, I would go over to the green, and I would paint it, and now it is this grass looking color, and now I have grass. Pretty simple. The next object to your disposal is the freeze tool. The freeze tool is, it will freeze an object, and you cannot move that object. It will tell you Maker Pen object is frozen, so you cannot configure it. You can't really do much. Where did my hand go? What? Hello? Okay. My Maker Pen's a bit buggy right now, but basically can't do much if it's frozen. But if you don't want anything to delete anything, let's say I don't want to delete this wall, I would freeze it, and if I like misclick, then it wouldn't delete. Now I can't because my Maker Pen is broken. Alright, so the next tool to your disposal is the delete tool. It is exactly what you think. Deletes a wall. Wow. Crazy, right? Sorry. I'm just gonna... Oh wait. Wrong way. Oh. Okay. And yeah. There's also an undo button that's right at the bottom of your menu. There's also a done editing button if you don't want to edit to the object. But if you do want to delete or do anything, you can just press redo and boom. Yeah, I'm gonna delete this. Oh my. The next tool to your disposal is the manipulate tool, which it will manipulate an object where you can stretch it or you can shrink it. You can make it more flat. This is how people get like flatter things, I guess. You can also make it like really long if you wanted to. I'm terrible at it, sorry. But basically, holy lag. You can make it about as long as you want. And once you're done, you know, it'll just be there. Yeah, they gotta fix this. I really can't with this. I had to grab stuff like this. And the last tool is the make invention tool, which, well, an invention is basically these items you can... Invention tool is basically items you can sell or make. You can have people, if you want a name, but just do grass. Just go grass block, whatever. And then you will take a photo of it, confirm, and it'll create the invention. Now they don't have to be published, but you will have to put a description and a tag in. But if you want to delete an invention from the Maker Pen, then you can delete. You can also update the invention if you wanted to fix something with it, and other players can edit, which can edit your invention, or they can publish the same exact invention you made, which I don't recommend that if you want other people to copy your stuff. Alright, so that was the main tools of the Maker Pen. But we do have some other buttons here. So this, I low-key don't know. This button right here makes gadgets visible in the room. Kind of see it behind my menu. They're right there, or you can spawn them in. the palette, this button right here modifies an object in the world space. I never really. This right here modifies an object in the space world. I don't know, sorry, my finger's in the way. You can kind of see it, it says it right there. Just, well, modifies an object in the space world, or world space. Space world, world space, same thing. And snapping do multiple different things. When you're creating an object and you have surface on, it will put this white, I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see that. This white little stripe, and once you put it up to something like a wall, you can create an object with your little surface and it'll stick to the wall. Let's say I wanted to do a little circle. Boom! Whoa, it's a circle. Wow. And you can also press done editing here, but you can also just drop your makeup pen, doesn't matter. I'm gonna delete that. In grid, we'll put it on a grid. I mean, oh, it doesn't work for, I forgot. It doesn't work for tube since that's not really, you can't really put that on the grid. But if you had something like a square, something like a square, you'll put it on a grid so it's always flat. And you can always keep it like this so it can never move. Even if, you can see right there, if I always, yo, stop. As you can see right here, it will always stay flat no matter where I turn it. And that's the wrong way, and it will always stay flat to whatever. Alright, the palette. This is gonna be a mouthful, so no, it's not. Just delete that. The palette can be opened up, like I said, with the top button that says open palette, or when you're pressing the create tool, it'll automatically open it up. Once you have the palette open, it will open up this menu. You can grab the palette with these two purple sides, but if you're on screen mode, you just can't. You just have a skill issue. So, oh my, with the palette, you're gonna start off in the shapes menu, which are obviously kind of obvious. They will give you a whole bunch of shapes you can work with. And they're missing some of my shapes. No, they're not. The diamond's right there. Anyways, with the palette, you can find shapes, circuits, or they're called gadgets, props, or inventions. So right here is shapes. Obviously, gives you a shape, and then you can create with it. And boom, now you got whatever that is. Boom. It's pretty simple. And then on the right side, you have your materials and colors. So let's say I don't want this green, I want this like a blue. You know, I just get a blue color. You're gonna, okay. I guess, bro. Oh my, can you stop putting? Yo, holy lag. So, next button to your disposal will have the circuits, or really anything. Mainly, I recommend using a CV2 since it's more simpler, but since, where are the CV2 gadgets? Oh yeah, there's also a button right here to press CV2. Now open up these. It looks very hard, but it's not. I mean, LARP? No way. They're just mainly math, and they look really confusing. It's really not. Like, an example, if, this might look like, oh, what does if do? If this circuit does this, then it does that, or, see, it's so simple. It's just if, then, else. But, if you don't like CV2, you can always go back. You can always go back to CV1. Holy, where did it go? Oh my, bro. Can you just work Oh, there's my menu. Oh my, why is this so laggy? Curse you recommend your own cooking. But if you don't like CV2, you can always go back. These are pretty simple. They're about the same. They just look more simpler. Like player event chip. That's just if a player goes for an event. Get score is if you have a score system, and game rules are obviously just game rules, and they're pretty simple. They work a bit different from CV2, but I just recommend using CV2 because there's a lot more versatile stuff to use. This is a now back to the wire tool. The wire tool is basically when you have a circuit. Now let's just take this AND chip and this, I forgot the name of it, chip. With the wire tool, you'll see an input. All these are inputs. This are outputs, and this is a reset tool. You can always connect an output into an input, but you cannot put an input to an output, or to another input. Same thing for the output. You cannot put into output, but there's no outputs on shit. Relatively, I'm not much of a circuit guy, I'm more of a builder guy. Next tools at your disposal are prop tools. I mean, they do what you think. They spawn in props from the actual game. Just in case you don't want to make a weapon from scratch with CV2, you can spawn in this bow. Now when you spawn in an object, as you can see, trying to grab it does not work. This is how to fix that, because I don't know why it's like that for me. I don't know if it's like that for y'all. You're gonna open up your tool, and press configure, and you're gonna configure it. It's gonna open this big menu. So you're gonna press is grabbable. You can also change the color, and has a highlight beacon. That little green thing on there, that's the highlight beacon, if you're ever wondering. But basically, once you make it grabbable, you can grab it now. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic. Oh man, I had to get to the hard part. Alright, so this is the hardest part of this tutorial, which is actually pretty simple besides from circuits. That's actually pretty hard. It is the settings tool. I recommend having the enable scaling, and you can do this. You can become really big, just in case you need to work on a big landscape or something just really big, or you can become really small, and everything else will become small. Basically it just does this. You have to grab both your grips. Look at me. You have to grab both your grips. You have to pull inward and pull outward. Pretty simple. Whatever. So with the settings tools, you're gonna see a whole bunch of settings. There's 3 things. There is the play gizmos, which are basically your circuits. You have the delete everything, which does exactly what you think. It just deletes everything from your room, which I do not recommend personally. Uniform shapes will make everything a certain size, so you cannot. It will always say the same size, but no. Hold up. So uniform shapes will make everything the same shape. So I always have. Okay, I guess it's not working. But basically what it's supposed to do is you're supposed to keep it around the same shape, or if you're on the tube, or just keep it aligned. You cannot make it smaller. Well, I mean, you can make it smaller, it'd just be the entire tube though. Yeah, it's not working right now for me. I don't know if that's just a skill issue on my part, but you know. Oh, okay. Scratch what I said earlier. There's a create grabbable tools. Objects, if you turn on objects by default, then it will make the objects you spawned in with the props already do that. So rotation snaps, it's for rotation snapping obviously, so you can go from 5 degrees to 15 to 40 or to 30 into 45 and 90. I like to keep it on 15 for now. Position snaps are basically, sorry, I didn't even realize I was in the way. So rotational snaps are basically if you want to rotate just something when you're building something for Maker Pen, it'll have a different rotation when you're rotating something. So, say I want to build this little cube, it will rotate on a different, it will just rotate by 5 degrees every time. I normally leave it on 5, but if you want it a bigger one, so if I want to snap at 90 degrees every time, then it will snap by 90 degrees. You can barely tell it's changed, but you can obviously see it's moving. It'd be better if you had like a unequal object, but if I wanted a 45 degrees, then it'll go by every 45 degrees. You can see it more better. And 30 degrees is obviously by 30 degrees. I recommend having it on 5 for shorter rotates. And yeah, the grid size for snapping objects, it's right here on your menu. Sorry, it's a bit cut off. Hold on. Move out the way. You can see it's right here. It basically just changes how far, or it just changes how, you see all these cubes? That's your position snapping. So the lower I have, the smaller you'll see the cubes. I don't know if you can see that. They're little yellow cubes. And the more higher you have it, the more position snapping, which is very harder. And now I can't even move the cube. Oh, and it's gone. See, it would just put on a bigger grid, basically. But the smaller you have it, the better grid it has. Snap to center, will just automatically snap it to its center. Oh, not automatically, but it would just snap the objects to the center of its position grid. I mean, pretty simple. If it doesn't keep bugging out. This stuff is very important for building, so make sure you keep this in mind. Like, I should just wear this a normal super. Uniform shapes makes perfect cubes like this. When you make a cube or a circle, it would just make it perfect. It's bugged right now. Don't know why, but it's just bugs. But tubes work, and it just makes perfect things depending on your size. I don't know, it's just bugged right now. So, show the grid. It's when this little yellow thing pops up or not. I like to keep that on so I can see my grid. But you can kind of see it. If I shake it around a little bit, you can kind of see it. Yeah. Line to edges. Well, obviously align it to the edges. You see it kind of moves different. Okay. We'll just align it to its... Whoa. Okay. We're gonna turn that off, because it's kind of bugging in my game. Yo, move! Tube size depends. It's really simple. It just... Oh man, my headset's at 15. Your tube size, well, it's obvious. It makes how big your tubes want to be. I think it also works for the ribbons. See, I have a smaller tube, and this is also with uniform shapes, so it just makes that perfect too. Let's see, you have but the more you the more pressure you put on your trigger, the more bigger or smaller it gets. And that also works if you have it off. It will make it look different. So, I'll show you what I mean. So when you have it off, you can start small. Oh, oops. Start small, then go to big, and small again. Okay, well, you can kind of see it. It's kind of like this wonky little shape. Where'd my menu go? So, the analog mode. Oh, shoot. The analog mode, if you have it off, it just kind of doesn't really... It always keeps it the same length, kind of like uniform shapes, I guess. They always keep it the same shape. Doesn't matter if I have little pressure or high pressure, it would just stay the same. And raw is, I think, It's kind of the same as breaststroke, just raw, I guess. Yeah, I haven't took a class in like 2 years, bro. Chill out on me. Oh shoot. Same guy that got a first place reward, by the way. So connect nearby tubes does exactly what you think. When you make a tube and make another tube, you can connect different tubes. Oh, more. Wait, did I do that right? I don't think I did that right. But, hold on, let me redo this. I think ribbons are also the same for tubes. Wait, did I do that right? Oh my lag, why does this always do that? Oh my, bro. So I don't feel like centering it. Alright. Back to what I was saying before I crashed. I don't know why I did that. Eye ratio is basically this. I don't know how to explain it that good. It basically makes it how thin or thick you want it. The tube high ratio basically makes it how thick or thin you want it. So if you don't want it really thick, you can make it really thin. See, the more lower it gets, the more thinner it gets. Alright, I guess we're doing it on this side now. Okay. Hopefully my headset doesn't die, because then I have to finish this on screen mode. So, the face set, okay. So, the tube face sets depends how many, like, corners it would have. So the more higher it is, the more smoother it gets, basically. If you want a really smooth tube, you would turn it up. If you want a really not really good one, you would leave it out. It kind of just looks more angular, like this. Okay, so right here, there's also a smooth tubes button. I forgot to mention that. It just makes it if you want your tubes also kind of smooth, but you can also make them smooth with the tube face set. So it's just smoother. It just makes it more smoother, basically. Fade in basically just highlights the object you're editing. So like when you see my screen go white, like this and that and whatever, you can just turn that off if you want. If you don't like the white, I'm gonna leave it on. I might turn it off. Drag select size. Yeah, it selects the size of the selection sphere. Yeah. So you can have it large, or you can have it analog, or you can have it precise. The pivot, I forgot to turn that on. I was talking about it. I forgot to turn it on though. Oopsies. Basically, let's say you have this cube right here, alright? And now I'm gonna just give it a decent size. The pivot will always go to the point is right here. You can kind of see it. It's right here. Here, I can move it up a bit more. Oh shoot, not like that. Kind of see it. Alright, slower. Okay. This is the pivot point. I recommend having it on so you know where your pivot is. Pivot is basically the part. It just shows you where you grab it from. So if I grab it from there. Coach sent me a message, thank God. Rec Center should be way less laggy. Thanks, Coach. I don't care. Okay, so back to the settings. We have one last thing. You can also rotate the stuff around from the pivot if you don't want it from the center, but I recommend leaving it off. Oh, I have two menus up. Show selects and bounds, so when you're snapping something, it shows like the grid where you're snapping, or your selection bounds. So here, I'll show you an example. So it kind of just moves the green thing, as you see. Now you can kind of see the grid better. But if you just leave it off, you can see the green around it. Actually, I recommend having it off if you're trying to build, but if you want it, you can leave that on. You can also show gadgets if you're not holding a maker pen, but I'm pretty sure you have to. I'm not too sure if you had to be an owner to make this. I'm brushing this because my head's too dicey. But basically, when you're not grabbing your maker pen, you can see gadgets. You can see I dropped my maker pen there. You see gadgets. The last couple tools is scale creation. So if I was, let's say, really small, everything I would make would also make it really small. I recommend having that on if you have self-scaling on. Get this out of here. The time I need it gone, it's just, oh my. Okay, the last one is self-scale grid, self-scale. This is the exact same, except with the grid. Crazy. And circuits v2 just shows you a whole bunch of circuits you can mess with, like the if tool and whatever, and light turn off if you want to turn off your lights in the game. The last, and then up here, your clipboard, use the context menu with the select tool. So when you have an object like this, oh, I forgot to explain that. Okay, I forget to explain this, but when you have a select tool, and you'll see this little options button, you click it, and it'll pop up some things. So you can do a copy, eyedropper, make a venture. There are already things that already exist. I just forgot to say that. So, alright, so with the clipboard tool, when you have something selected, the clipboard tool, when you have something selected, okay, that's not the clipboard tool. With the clipboard tool, you use the context menu. You probably wouldn't use this. I mean, you might, but I highly doubt. It's basically if you just want to copy and paste something. So if you just press the copy button, I can make the exact copy of it. But I don't know why if you would use this, but you could just use the clone tool. And the search tool does exactly what you think. You can search for anything. You go from inventions to props to whatever. And invention tools will show the inventions you have. I picked some random invention up that I found, and these cubes need to move. Sorry about the gadgets, but these won't pop up, but basically you'll just see whatever is there. This is all it's are. Just a clone. I'll teach you about holotars later and other things when I get more used to this, because I haven't used it much. But basically, that's really everything you really should need to know. That's everything there is on there, aside from, well, props. So that's it for my little tutorial video. If it helped, you're welcome. If it didn't, sorry. I'm not very great at making tutorials, but if that helped, like and subscribe, and please hit that bell if you want to see more tutorials. I'll see y'all later. Bye, losers. Wait, wrong word. Bye, winners.